Welcome to the news on Enyimba TV. We are reaching you from the commercial city of Aba. First, the headlines. Aba State Governor swears in 6 new commissioners, creates new ministries. National Judicial Council recommends Kekere Ekun as Chief Justice of Nigeria. Presidency reacts as French court orders Chinese company to seize 3 presidential jets. Thanks for joining us on the news at this time. I am Mary Ihejirika. Now the news in detail. Aba State Governor Dr. Alex Uti has sworn in 6 new commissioners in the state. The commissioners took oaths of office and allegiance administered by the State Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice. The governor's spokesperson, Okoha Njoko, released a statement providing details of the swearing-in ceremony. Governor Oti told the new commissioners that they must be excellent administrators and team players to drive the execution of the programs and agenda in their ministries. The governor warned the new commissioners that there is no room for infighting, adding that his administration has zero tolerance for corruption. The new commissioners' portfolios are as follows: David Carlo, Science, Technology and Innovation; Kingsley Chibweze Nwokocha, Trade and Commerce; Owoma Okando, Finance; Ijoma Ahokwa, Women Affairs; Goodluck Obochi, Basic and Secondary Education; and Ogbonnaya Uche, Health. The governor also announced the reshuffling of his cabinet and the creation of new ministries. The 6 new ministries are Basic and Secondary Education, Tertiary Education, Poverty Alleviation and Social Protection, Labor and Productivity, Industry and SMEs and Arts, Culture and Creative Economy. Enyimba TV observed that in the reshuffled cabinet, some existing commissioners were moved to other ministries. Federal government of Nigeria is accusing Chinese company Zhongshan Funcheng Industrial Investment Company Limited of subterfuge after a French court ruled in favor of the firm and granted the seizure of presidential jets belonging to the Nigerian government. In the dispute involving an arbitration award, the court in Paris ruled in favor of the Chinese firm, allowing it to seize 3 presidential jets on routine maintenance in France as security for claims in a decades-long judicial matter between the foreign company and the Ogun State government. Presidential spokesman Bayo Onanuga alleged that the Chinese firm is trying to take over Nigeria's offshore assets by obtaining 2 orders without any notice being duly served on the federal government of Nigeria and Ogun State government. Onanuga said despite that the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Lateef Fabemi has been working with the Ogun State government on an amicable resolution, he claimed the presidential jets are on routine maintenance in France. Meanwhile, the Chinese company behind the seizure of 3 Nigerian government presidential jets, Zhongshan, says it is open to discussions and committed to settling the face-off between it and the Nigerian government. The company said this in a statement obtained by Enyimba TV. Zhongshan, the Chinese company whose export processing zone management contract was revoked by the Ogun State government in 2016, had sought the intervention of the French court in its contractual dispute with the state government. The Ogun State government, in their reaction through the special advisor to the governor on media and strategy, Kayode Akimade, condemned the development as a new tactic by the Chinese company to seize Nigerian assets in foreign jurisdictions, noting that past effort had continually failed. Akimade further alleged that Zhongshan misled the Paris court regarding the nature and use of the seized assets. President Bola Tinubu and President Teodoro Basogo of Equatorial Guinea have signed an agreement to develop a gas pipeline across the Gulf of Guinea. The agreement covers several important areas such as legislative and regulatory measures for the gas pipeline, its establishment and operation, the transit of natural gas, ownership of the pipeline, and the general principles governing the project. President Tinubu, who is on a 3-day official visit to Equatorial Guinea, said Africa should seek homegrown solutions to its myriads of social, economic, and political challenges. President Bola Tinubu also urged African leaders to make strategic and deliberate efforts in addressing the exodus of skills and talent from Africa. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the recent Supreme Court judgment granting full financial autonomy to local government councils would enhance Nigeria's universal basic education system. He said this in Abuja at the public presentation of a new book, Navigating the Politics of Universal Education Policies in Nigeria, written by former Deputy Governor of Ekiti State, Professor Modupe Adelabu. According to him, the autonomy of local governments, which were directly responsible for providing primary education, would address the financial limitations that have hindered the alignment and administrative units with the government's educational agenda. The Vice President noted that ongoing reforms initiated by President Bola Tinubu would address inadequacies and ideologies frustrating universal education in the country. National Judicial Council (NJC) is recommending the appointment of Justice Kudirat Montomori Kekere-Ekun as the Chief Justice of Nigeria (CJN). Justice Kekere-Ekun is to replace Justice Olukayode Ariwola, who will retire on August 22 as the CJN. The NJC made the recommendation to President Bola Tinubu at its 106th meeting in Abuja between August 14 and 15. NJC spokesman Soji Oye said the decision became imperative because Justice Ariwola will formally bow out of office as the Chief Justice of Nigeria next week, Thursday, August 22, 2024. Defense Headquarters is announcing a noticeable increase in the nation's crude oil production following the recently rejiggered war against crude oil theft operations in Niger Delta. Director, Defense Media Operations, DMO, Major General Edward Boba announced this in Abuja while speaking at the bi-weekly media parley with defense correspondents on ongoing military operations by the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, and other security agencies in the various theaters against insurgency activities across the country as at August 15 this year. The Defense Headquarters also lamented that its demand for the metering of crude oil pipelines had yet to be carried out. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, is faulting the explanations given by the Nigeria Police Force on the reason its personnel ransacked the NLC National Headquarters in Abuja, calling for an unreserved apology from the police. At a press conference in Abuja, NLC leaders through their head of communications and corporate affairs, Benson Uba, described the police allegations of tracing a suspected international criminal to the building as laughable. The NLC also challenged the police to come up with proof of any relationship with the alleged criminal. The NLC also criticized the government's attempt to interfere with the union's internal affairs, including a proposed reduction in the tenure of trade union leaders. You're watching Enyimba TV News. After the short break, the news continues with foreign, business and sports update. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Now the news continues. On the foreign scene, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris made an upbeat show of unity as they held their first joint public event since Harris replaced the president as the Democratic candidate in November's election. Chants of "Thank you, Joe" rang out from the audience at a community college in Maryland near Washington. Biden was celebrated as he took credit for a major deal to reduce medicine prices for retirees on social welfare programs. But the biggest star was Biden's vice president, who has united the Democratic Party and surged ahead in the polls against Republican Donald Trump since her abrupt entry into the race. The joint appearance came as a couple of hours before Trump was due to hold a press conference at his golf club in New Jersey. On business, Nigeria's annual inflation rate in July eased after a persistent rise in nearly 2 years. Inflation rate eased to 33.40% in July 2024 compared to 34.19% in June, according to the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS). Inflation indicators compared prices of goods and services in 12 months. A decline does not necessarily imply a reduction in prices. Instead, it shows the rate of price increase had fallen compared to previous months. According to the NBS, the July headline inflation rate showed a decrease of 0.8% points when compared to the June 2024 headline inflation rate. The lowest figure in 2024 was 29.90%, recorded in January. And on sports, the presidency is now in charge of the appointment of a new head coach for the Super Eagles. The Nigeria Football Federation (NFF) is yet to make a pronouncement on the appointment of a new head coach for the three-time African champions. The controversy surrounding the appointment of the new head coach has reduced the president weighed in. NFF's technical director, Augustine Iguiven, is in line to manage the Super Eagles for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers against Benin Republic and Rwanda next. With this sports story, we'll wrap up this edition of news on Enyimba TV at this time. But before we go, here is a recap of the top stories. In the news, we told you Abia State Governor has sworn in 6 new commissioners and has created new ministries. We also told you that National Judicial Council have recommended Kekere Ekun as Chief Justice of Nigeria. And we told you that presidency have reacted as French court orders Chinese company to seize 3 presidential jets. That's a package of news for now. Please join us for more updates in our subsequent bulletins. Meanwhile, don't forget to subscribe to this channel on YouTube. Click on the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the production team, I am Mary Ihejirika saying do have yourself a wonderful day.